Hello, 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 and welcome to Tech Talk Thursday. Like the balloons? We'll talk about that later. If Saeed is watching, this is for you, Saeed. All right, if you recognize those balloons, or you recognize the look and feel, then you'll know they come from Saeed, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. But welcome to Tech Talk Thursday. We're here, we're live. I hope we're live. It looks like everything is working fine. Thanks for joining me today, and Mr. McKenna will be joining us in a second. Today, we're actually going to be talking about some of the tools that we use on a daily basis. And for creating our content, for our workflows, for things that I do for social posting, some productivity, some bits and pieces. It's a bit of a mixed bag. We've got a lot to get through in the hour. We won't be able to cover everything in too much detail, but just want to give you a taster of things that we use on a sort of a daily, weekly basis. But first of all, I'll bring in Mr. McKenna. Hello, Martin. How's it going? Do you like the balloons?
I love the balloons. In Scotland, when somebody's called a bit of a balloon, it just means they're full of hot air, and it's not necessarily a good thing.
Okay, well, we won't call anybody a balloon tonight.
He's a bit of a balloon.
Full of hot air. There's a lot worse things they could say. Speaking of air and things, I noticed there's a hurricane heading to the UK. So are you batting down the hatches already? I know we love talking about the weather, but this is a pretty serious one, apparently, right?
Yeah, it's a fairly serious one. We don't want to live like, I don't know, in Egypt or somewhere and say, what's the weather like? Well, it's the same as it was the last 364 days. It's the same all the time.
You want to mix it up a bit, right?
We have a bit of, we mix it up a bit. And, I'll be battening the hatches down and going into the garden and moving various pots and plants around so they don't jump off shelves and smash on the ground and things like that, which happens fairly regularly, actually.
Sounds like it. Yeah, so well, good luck and be safe because, it doesn't sound very good. And, I still have family in the UK. So, but I noticed like when they were talking about the speeds, it's like, it's about 50 down south and then it's 100 and something in the north. So not great indeed. But anyway, we've got a few people who've joined us before we continue. Yes, I thought I'd just, a little bit of a world premiere. If you don't mind, Saeed, it's just... we just thought we'd just throw a few things out there. So welcome, Saeed. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Stefan. Thanks for joining as well. And George, King George, how are you doing? Long time no see. Were you at Creator Camp, George, this week? I know it's just finished. Let us know if you were able to make it. Unfortunately, myself and Martin weren't able to get there this year, but there is a Creator Camp in the UK next year. We may or may not be there. We have to wait and see. But anyway, yes. Let us know if you've been there. So today, let's talk about these tools and stuff. So first of all, I was gonna start with Claude, I think. So I'm going to do that. I'll leave Streamalive. Streamalive is working like a trooper, by the way. We've got Streamalive working in the background. In fact, I'll just flip to that share because at the moment it's just basically showing a word cloud. So we've got everybody's comments coming in, but it's actually picking up comments now from Restream. Here's another comment. Hey, kids. So, hey, Daryl, thanks for joining us. So, yeah, Streamalive is working very well. And that's with the Restream plugin. So I thought I'd try it because I haven't tried it for a while. And I know they've been updating a few things as well. So it's working well. So I guess I'll start with my selection of tools because we don't have a huge amount of time. So for those of you that use any AI GPTs, whether it be ChatGPT or Claude, I'll just go and share over here if it'll work. So I use Claude and I can't go into too much detail and I can't do a full demo on here because I'm actually going to be querying and interrogating my own sort of email. But Claude recently has been updated with many new features, and one of those features that I'm taking advantage of is connectors. Now, Claude is very similar to ChatGPT. They're all much of a muchness in terms of the types of capability. You've got this connector capability now in ChatGPT, in Claude, in Perplexity. And what that simply means is that you have a host of different connectors. Let me just turn this on so you can see. Got a host of different connectors that you can actually set and work with on your respective GPT. So I've added my Gmail, my Google Drive, my calendar. And you might be thinking, well, why on earth would you do that? Well, I'm quite lazy when it comes to emails. I'm very good at sort of putting them in folders and things. But there are occasions when I can't remember where a particular email has come from, especially if you're working with clients and things like that. So I use my Claude AI to go and query my emails. I'll say, I had an email from Martin recently on a particular subject. Can you just give me the last 5 emails from Martin and summarize them? So you just give it a standard text prompt and it's going to go away and query your Gmail. It'll do the same for calendar events. So it'll basically, you ask it, I need a free couple of hours on a Friday. Tell me which Fridays I'm free. It looks at all the calendar information and so on. So I don't know if anybody else is using that in the chat. If you are, let me know, because it's a really useful feature, especially if you've got a lot of files, video files, audio files, and things like that on your Google Drive. And if you're dealing with multiple customers and maybe you're not that great at sort of consolidating and filing your emails away, this is just a great way of being able to do that. Now, you can do some of that on Gmail as well. Gmail's got a lot of this stuff built in, but I find it really, really useful because then you can actually ask it in your tone, in your language, how you typically write, to go away and write an email based on a particular response or some specific task that you want to do. You've also got connectors to things like Notion. So if you're a Notion user with its backend database where you've got all your files and everything stored there, it'll easily query stuff in Notion. Like, for example, I've got my ideal client persona, I've got my bio, I've got all different things in Notion. And if I just want to pull up a snippet from that and then maybe rewrite something or augment that with an email, I can easily do that without having to sift through multiple apps. I don't like going through different apps every day to try and find things. So I'm using Claude now as almost like a hub, an aggregator of all these different types of data to bring everything in. So Martin, I'm not sure if you've used anything like this, but I know GPT-5 and so on has these new connectors in there. And there's actually a ton of them. If you go to manage connectors, there's quite a few different ones you can select in here as well. You can browse them all. They've got like GitHub, and these are all ones that are actually available. You can see there's a ton, like Box. So you got Dropbox, you got Figma, Fireflies. A lot of the AI note taker tools are in here as well. There's a ton. So PayPal. So you could actually query PayPal, get it to pay somebody or whatever. That's a bit dangerous in my view. if you're using it and linking it to your PayPal account, go and pay Saeed $2 million by mistake.
Can you pay everybody in my email inbox
$20? Yes,
$100
certainly.
each,
Yeah, and he'll send a link out and pay everybody. Maybe not the best thing, but you get the gist. And like, of course, this is just, the start of that. But I was introduced this recently. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you do a search then across multiple different areas? So I'm very terrible at storing things all over the place.
Yes.
So could I do a store, let's say on Creator Cafe, let me see all of my references to Creator Cafe across my email, Dropbox, 3 or 4 other Google Drives or whatever it is.
Yes.
Will it then bring out all of the references to Creator Cafe and put them in one place for me?
Should do. Yeah, you should summarize them either in a table or a list or something like that, and you can tell it to do those things. Yeah, that's something I haven't tried specifically on my side, but I have seen demos of it doing that, especially if you've got like instances of Creator Cafe, as I said in Notion. You just have to say, search my email, various connected drives, and Notion for whatever the search criteria is, and it'll go away and search everything.
So what you're telling me now is that I don't need to be even vaguely organized. I can save things all over the place. It doesn't matter because I can now find them all. Providing I've named them correctly, it's going to pick them up.
Well, yeah.
And I don't have to worry about where the heck I've put them. Oh, what did I do with that? Was that on my desktop or in one of my external drives or in the 30 other different places? It will find it.
You could do
Which
that.
would be great, actually, for somebody like me who just has millions of files going on. So, I'm fairly good at naming them well. I'm just not very good at necessarily storing them in the right place.
Well, that's the thing. So yeah, let us know in the comments if you're using something like this. But that's one of my sort of top tips. I really use it every day now. I don't actually open email. I mean, it's sitting there in the background, but because it's Gmail, and it doesn't have to be a paid for Gmail account like Workspace. It works with free Gmail accounts, free calendars, whatever it might be, as long as you've got a connector for it. Now, another question is going to be, can it write the emails for you and actually send them? So the current iteration of Claude's integration can't actually send the emails, but if you do use something like Zapier, which is an automation tool. Zapier has also connectors to Gmail and calendars. And then Claude has those connectors to Zapier. And I have tested this. So you can write an email to Martin, say, no thanks, I'm not doing that anymore, or whatever it is.
I keep getting that email.
Yeah,
from
I'm
you.
sorry about that. Yeah, it's Claude. It's not me. It's Claude. And you can write that email and get it to send it on a particular time. You can also book meetings as well and stuff like that. So it's a read only, if you think of it that way right now, Claude. But that's all I need at this moment, because once it's crafted the email for me or whatever, just copy and paste and stick it straight in the email there. So that's my tip. I'll just go to the comments real quick, and then we'll move on to your tool of choice number 1. Let me just find out if there's any. There is some comments here that just pop in there. Saeed says, search for file untitled_final 3000 results. Yep, that's probably about right. And if you've ever seen Lux with his Streamer Live sessions that he creates, it's like Untitled 1, Untitled 2, Untitled 3. This would be great for Lux, but you would probably get all those results as well. So you've got mixed feelings about allowing AI to read my sender or emails, not paranoid. It depends. If you use Google, it's already reading everything. So if you want to not have that happen to you, then use a different email platform, because Google reads everything and stores it and so on. Won't go into that now. We're not a conspiracy channel, but that does happen. So Google is reading and indexing everything because it has to in order for it to create its sort of AI versions as well. Saeed says social security number, blood type, shoes. Yeah, it's all on Claude. Thing is, you got to think of it this way. We're not sort of off grid anymore, especially if you get connected to the internet. One of my colleagues that I used to work with, who's a security guy, said the safest way to be off the internet is just unplug the internet, and then you're good to go. Hey, Sue-Ann, thanks for joining us again. I'm glad you're here again this week. Hopefully you'll learn something new, or maybe not. Who knows? But we've got some good tips for you as well. And George wasn't at Creator Camp. Never mind. There's always next year. I'll come over to the UK. All right, Mr. McKenna. What's your tool?
Well, that just means somebody else had the chance to win all the prizes, George, at Creator Camp. So,
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, you're actually doing people a favour by not turning up, which is fair enough. All right, Martin, over to you.
Okay, so I'm just going to have a quick look at something, a couple of different products that I use. I wasn't sure whether we're doing 5 between us or 5 each, but one of the products that I use all the time is Ideogram. So this is Ideogram. And I don't know why.
That was me.
That was Neil, not me.
It's all right. Not you. That's me. Carry on.
That's me thinking it might be me. So Ideogram allows you to create AI images. So pretty much anything from a prompt that you want to do. But one of the things that I use fairly frequently is that it allows you to take a character image and to create things from the character image. So you can upload an image of yourself. So in my case, you can see my head appearing on the screen there. It's a character image. And then you can give it a prompt and it will take your character image and drop it into whatever you want. So in this particular case, I've got a few images directly below me, which I'll come back to a little bit later. But they're ones that I was trying to create some sort of cool looking PowerPoint type presentation using another tool called Veed for video integration. But my first point of call is always to start with an individual image. So here's some of the images here, and here's some of the reference images that I've used for the image above. So what you can do is tell it to create a particular image using a prompt, and then you can drop in up to 3 reference images to give it style. So I've created these images here in the center, and then you can see above it's kind of followed the lines of those images and the style to create the image of me with an Edinburgh skyline behind me in a funky modern looking office type setting. So that's the kind of prompt that I had. And as we roll down, you can see there's some other ones that I've created, and the one in the very center there, we're going to have a look at a video in a minute which has sort of been created from that particular image. And you can also get it to do some mad things as well. So if I want some super styling of various different people, then I can do them as Superman. I can do them as sort of Men in Black type images. I can do them as styled images for a lovely magazine or whatever. I can't remember the last time I wore a bow tie, but apparently I have. Or you can go down the sort of Blade Runner route or the UFO conspiracy route, whatever you want to do, really. You can actually play about and create these images, and it will drop your face into the images. And for me, what I then do is I take that image and I upload it to Veed, and it will do some talking for me or some lip syncing for me as well. So we'll come back to that a little bit later. What I thought I'd do here, actually, just as an experiment, so I'm going to come down here and choose Neil as my headline here, and we'll try putting in a prompt for Neil. And you won't be able to read that prompt exactly, so I've no idea what's going to come up here. Let me take off these stylings, because we don't want these stylings on this particular one. So I've just put man live streaming from an attic in Portugal. He has a neon sign in a dimly lit space with the words "Create a Cafe," which it's bound to get wrong, by the way. I've not tried this. I've no idea what's going to happen. It's very hot and he's surrounded by cats. Make everything in a manga style. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to turn up now? But I've just hit generate now, and it's going to generate 4 images for me, and we'll see what pops up. And as I say, complete experiment. We have absolutely no idea what's going to turn up. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. But in this case, it's totally random. So let's have a look at what it thinks Neil looks like. Totally in a cafe. Create a Cafe, it spelt it correctly. That's pretty good.
Wow.
Surrounded by cats in Portugal. In a manga style.
That's my morning. That's my morning, actually. That's a great image. You can send me that. That is exactly what my morning looks like with the cats outside.
So we have 4 of them. So and it's picked out your hairstyling perfectly, and it's made you look 10 years younger. So you can't complain about that, can you? Really?
Nope.
So so this is generally my starting point for images. So here we have some other ones which we did of Neil to match in with some of the other styles we've done in terms of different look and feels for different areas, and it just keeps going on. The sort of images that you can get Ideogram to create. This is me creating some images for some logos and giving it a theme here of this martini image which I found, which I thought would be useful. And then for something I called the AI brain. But I use Ideogram all the time for tons and tons of stuff, and it's fantastic at creating images. But you can also create some great character stuff as well. And I will, in fact, let me just show you one of the... No, I'll come back and do that. I'll go let Neil do his next one, and then we'll come back and have a look at some of the other things I've done with that. But that's Ideogram, not only for creating images, but also for using as the character reference, where you just upload a picture of yourself and you can have it create all sorts of good-looking pictures of yourself, or you can be in an attic in Portugal surrounded by cats.
I like that, actually. Saeed has a couple of questions, of course. Saeed is asking, what is the Portugal part of the image? I think it's because I'm in an attic, right? I mean, I guess it's not going to show a flag or something like that, right? Or
didn't look carefully enough, Saeed. I'm a little disappointed at you, because in the background there was a window and it had a view of Portugal in the background. But you weren't looking carefully enough.
All right, you have to show us that again then. Later. All right. The other comment is from Suan. You've just ordered a new kitty tree for my office. I have a kitten tree downstairs as well, which the cat's from. But I've got 2 cats indoors, just to let you know, which are the princesses, Martini and Khaleesi. And then we've got 5 feral cats outside that we look after, and we keep feeding them, and we've had them all fixed and everything. So yeah, it is just like that picture that Martin showed is my morning, where they're just all outside. It's terrifying. It's like the Village of the Damned. It's like they're all trying to get in the door. It's crazy. Oh dear. All right. Moving on. Can you believe it's 8:25 already? Where is the night going? Okay, I'll be very quick with this one then. So And if you want us to do a deep dive on any of these tools within reason, let us know. We're just going through a few today anyway. So the next one for me, if this has come up, is something called Marky.ai. Now, a shout out to Tanya at Stream Like a Boss. She was the one that originally tested this. This was an app that was on AppSumo some time ago. I think I may have shown this before, but this is where I try and create some social posts. Now, I'm not a designer by any stretch. You've seen some of my stuff. I'm not like Martin. Martin's the great designer of the team here. But what this will allow me to do is basically schedule some of my social posts, because I don't have a lot of time in the day, and I do like posting a few bits and pieces, either things related to my Substack, things related to what I'm doing, LinkedIn posts and things like that. And what this allows me to do is really get an idea, first of all, about your business. It's not just a standard random tool where it's going to throw things out there at random. It's actually going to work out what your business is. So you give it a lot of information around what you do as a business, what your ideal client is, the types of topics that you want to talk about. You feed that into this tool, and then you've got the option then to generate different types of posts. So similar to all the other types of AI tools, if I just click on posts here and go into the little options, I've got a few options. It's a bit small on this side, but bear with me. You've got a few options here. So you can generate with a text prompt. So you can basically say, well, here's my topic of the day that I want to talk about, and so on. And this is like an ideas tank, really. It's just to give you a lot of sort of ideas around the post that you want. Then you've got a list of topics, and these topics are basically set from a drop down based around the types of things that you have, repurposing your content, organizing your studio setup. So these are the topics that you can add yourself, that you are an expert in, or something that is related to your business, your channel, or whatever it might be. Or you can actually feed it some URLs. So other topics, blog posts, news articles, things like that. You can actually feed it a ton of these URLs, and then you can ask it to generate a post. So let's just say, I don't know, looking after cats on a weekend. Now it's going to basically do some random stuff here. You've also got a number of different themes. So you've got the option to click on all different types of themes that are there to actually create. I wonder if I can zoom in a little bit on here. There you go, it's a bit better. So all these themes are related to either threads, X posts, LinkedIn, are they business related, tech related, whatever it might be. And you can choose from whatever you want. You can also give it some ideas as well. It's not as sophisticated as things like Gamma at the moment, or Veed, or other tools that Martin has used. But effectively, you can actually add various color palettes related to your business, and then call to action. So if you've got a call to action in there, that's like book a call with me and things like that, it'll do that. I'm just going to let it go away and generate posts. Oops, I haven't put the URL in there. I'm actually going to put text instead. Looking after cats on the weekend. Probably spelled that all wrong, but I'll just let it generate. Anyway, after it's generated posts, you can then set up a schedule and get those posts scheduled over time. Sometimes you want to maybe post some of your social stuff in the evenings, my time, which is the US mornings or whatever it might be. So you can't always be online. It just gives a little bit of a feed and a constant sort of stream of posts to your social platforms. And it just depends what you want. I don't take these as what they're given and then just randomly post them out. I will play around with them. Some of these are specifically for Instagram, where they've got the cards. Some of these are taken from, characters, memes, things like that. So, I mean, it's pretty funny, some of them. I like the funny ones. You can see it's got the Creator Cafe logo. It's got my colors. It's got things like that. And the logo was designed by this gentleman up here. But you get the idea. So it's full on brand. And with one account, you can have one or two different design topics, design libraries, and businesses associated with that. So myself and my wife are using this together for different posts and things. But it was on AppSumo. It was really cheap. I think it was $60 for a lifetime thing. So I thought, well, why not? Let me play with it, use it. And if I can teach people how to use it, and if it's useful for other people, then why not? So that's app.marky.ai. I'll post that in the chat. In fact, I'll do that right now while Martin goes and tells us about one of his other tools. But yeah, let us know if you think it's interesting. I know there's a lot of sort of controversy around, well, you need to do your posts yourself. yes, I am doing the post myself, but I'm just having a little bit of a helping hand to help me either write these a little bit better or at least put some graphics and some fun stuff in them. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Have you used anything like that before, Martin? I guess you don't do a lot of social posting. You do your stuff on LinkedIn, just comes straight from the heart.
Yeah, there is a couple of LinkedIn engines as well now that AI analyzes the effectiveness of your posts and then looks for similar posts and looks for ones which are trending at the moment and then suggests posts for you and things like that. So I've tried 2 or 3 of those generically, but I'm not overly impressed in that it gets you into the right area, but you can almost tell instantaneously that it's an AI generated prompt or right post rather.
Right.
So my ones, I tend not to use too much of that, but I use AI to give me ideas for stuff, and then I'll write my own post in my own language, and I tend to write just the way that I talk. And people quite often will tell me that they'll read things I've written and say, "Oh, I could hear you talking when I read that."
That's good.
And that's just because I know a lot of people are hung up on grammar and things like that and ums and ahs, and I just write it all exactly how I would say it.
Yeah.
And if there is, a bit of a space and it's dot dot dot, then there's a bit of a space and so on and so forth. And I think that just helps to balance out the effectiveness of AI, which is amazing, but with a bit of human interaction as well, which we'll get into a lot of that, I suspect, in the next couple of weeks once we get Charlie Hills and Scott Skeeble onto our show next week, where we'll be comparing AI and the world of genuine self in terms of your appearance on LinkedIn. So I think that's going to be really interesting, which is a nice segue onto the next thing, which I've been playing about with. So the next tool that I've been using quite a lot this week is something called Veed.io, Veed.io, and that is a video creation tool, and it's multiple tools in one, basically. It's got Gen AI Studio, AI Playground, AI Image Generator, loads of other ones, and it becomes actually a little bit difficult to remember which one's which in terms of what you want to go and have a play with. But I played with most of these now, and it can do some pretty incredible things. There's some of it which is definitely still kind of beta, I guess, and going through iterations of improvement. But one of the one I like here is Gen AI Studio, and that allows me to basically play about and take those images which I took from Ideogram, drop them into Veed, and then I can do a voiceover in Veed, and it will play back my image without me doing anything to it. So I'm not putting a video up, it's creating the video. It will create my image and do a lip sync for me to my own recording. So this is the very first one which I did, and literally it took me like a minute to go in, drop in an image, and then say, literally did a 10-second voiceover. And recording this Veed video, or Veed.io, Veed.io, to see how good it is. So in that, literally, it's a still image of me. It's a voiceover of me going, just recording this Veed video. But the lip sync, I think, is absolutely amazing from a still image. So let's watch it again. Recording this Veed video, or Veed.io, Veed.io, to see how good it is. And the other thing that struck me, I sort of moved my hands around in the video. It wasn't that's a still image where AI has moved my hands around. Now normally when hands are involved, suddenly 2 or 3 extra fingers are appearing all over the place and that type of thing. But that seems to have got it really, really well, and so I've been super impressed with that. I've also dropped in a couple of other ones where I am speaking as a superhero, and it manages to get the lip sync perfectly well on that, because it's not even matching a person. But I've also, started playing about with some of the layering on that as well. So I've created a few different videos of me where I start off with me as an ideogram image. I move me to one side of the ideogram image and then create a bit of space where I can drop some other stuff in as well. So let's show you one of the latest videos that I've created using that technique. So let's hit the button. The ITSM Brain does a fantastic job of looking at all of your requirements and matching them across the feature sets of every vendor in the marketplace. But it goes far deeper. It also looks at matches for company profiles as well. So total cost of ownership, ease of upgrades, licensing models, customer satisfaction ratings, user forums, events. All of these factors are in the Brain too. So hopefully that was all in sync, because it's in sync when I play the video. Hard to say when I'm watching things back on replay, but certainly if you go watch that video, it's totally in sync. But I've been able to layer up multiple images and multiple different text overlays and things like that, all within Veed, all within the same timeline on Veed, and it's very, very easy to do. Okay, so I've created a lot of fancy images in ideogram, which I'm then sliding in and out of Veed, but effectively I can build up a really impressive looking video in a very short amount of time without having to worry about me being in the studio anywhere. Literally, it's a still image of me. I've just imported loads of other images sliding around it. So I think there's a huge potential here for how-to type of videos and for presentations that are short, and maybe you're doing 10 little videos a week and you just want to pop on and tell people about the latest this, that and the other, but you're relatively small in the corner of the screen. It will still look super cool on this, and you can bring anything in terms of multiple videos and overlaying them and changing the opacity and things like that. It's just super cool. I've only just scratched the surface of it. I'm imagining that after a week of playing about with it, a month of playing about with it, I'll be able to make it do some amazing looking things. So yeah, Veed.io.
It's very impressive. I just put the link in the chat before, and I think everything that we're seeing at the moment, especially with the likes of Sora 2 that just came out a couple of days ago, then you've got Veed, you've got Midjourney, you have, I can't even remember half of them. There are so many out there now. Kling, all these tools are basically going to get much better and better over the months and coming year. I mean, in a couple of years' time, it'll be very hard to distinguish between what's available. I mean, the Sora 2 app that's not available in Europe at the moment, I don't know if anybody who's in the US who's watching this has actually played with it. This is the app from OpenAI where it's actually on your phone. So they've taken it to the next level whereby, if you remember when you were doing avatars before, Martin, where you had to like clone your voice with 11 Labs and things like that, you had to read out like full paragraphs, full sentences, almost like half a book. So it would train the AI on the nuances of your voice and things. And then the same with images. So when you do, certain projects that we've been working on where you have to give the AI tool 10 to 15 images of yourself, what this Sora AI app, from what I've seen, is it's on your phone, not my phone, of course. And then you basically look at it, you say 4 or 5 numbers, you speak out the numbers to it, and then you turn your head like this, and look at it. That's it. Then it clones you. And it's, from what I've seen, it's not obviously the best, but just the barrier to entry for people who want to just make little videos now of them on basketball courts or wrestling crocodiles or whatever it might be, you can do that right in the app. And all it took was maybe 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes worth of training. So I'd love to know the people in the chat at the moment. There's a few people here. What's your thoughts on the whole AI thing? And is it something that you're embracing or staying away from, or what do you think about the whole avatar creation and stuff? And I'll just go into the share and just put something in the chat. We're using Streamalive, which is one of the tools I was picking today in terms of audience engagement. If you've ever been on our shows and Saeed's shows and so on, we're heavy users of Stream Alive. Now, whether this is going to work or not right now, as I've just said that, because I'm using the Restream plugin, and it has been a little bit slow for me today, but we had that problem before. I'm just going to pick another tool as well that I use. I can't even spell, actually, so I maybe have to refresh it, but Saeed was saying, I like to see the real human every once in a while. Okay, so I'm using Canva. I know your chats are coming in now. You, I think, put odd voices. Odd voices? What was that?
Yeah, so I have been using this Vidio, and just the last thing I did with it today, actually, I created my own avatar. So rather than just me putting up a still image, I did very much what you just said. I recorded a whole 5-minute type of overview of me speaking through a load of text that it gave me to on the teleprompter, and it then created an avatar. It took about 5 hours for the avatar to come through, and then I watched stuff with the avatar, and I can literally cut and paste a paragraph of text and I will speak the text. I was hugely disappointed.
Right.
Because previously what I've done is I've uploaded a still image and then I talk over the text. So that's me talking, and it lip syncs the image to my voice. Whereas this time it's creating my voice from the sample vocal that I'd given it. I didn't think it sounded like me at all. Well, not at all. It was similar, but it was the wrong pitch and the wrong tone, and
that's right.
You could hear stuttering in the voice, and it was they seemed to do the something thing,
right,
and it just wasn't right. And yet, when I just do my own vocal recording, and then get it to lip sync from what was just a flat picture, it works perfectly. But the AI avatar, where it's trying to do absolutely everything for you, I didn't like very much. And what I was also disappointed about was that it didn't give me the option to just do a vocal recording. So I'd have much rather just said, okay, let me do a vocal recording, and now that you've captured my face and everything in detail, you should be able to do an even better version of what you did before. But actually, no, it just wasn't as good.
Yes.
So maybe I need to work on that a little bit more. I don't know, because it literally was a couple of hours ago that I tried that. But it was the voice now that was a problem. And previously it was not. It was always lip sync or hands or whatever. But in this particular case, I prefer to do it from the still image and then have my own voice as I'm speaking it. It seems to be a much better combination.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And I think it is. Sometimes it works very well and sometimes it doesn't. And I had the problem when I used Descript in its day where it had the ability to do some overdubbing. So if the video was incorrect, you could then record your voice and then you could type out what you actually wanted it to say. It's great for audio podcasts, but it never seemed to get everything 100% right. It's getting better. Tons of comments though. So let's go in and let me just take a bit of these. So first off, Saeed says he would like to hear a real human, or say a real human once in a while. Exactly. It's not going to replace the human connection, these types of interactions. I don't know. I say that now, but watch this space. But, why would you want to replace the two of us with AI? Let's not even go there. So
one of the things I did drop in on a LinkedIn discussion today about this was, could AI make me laugh? And I mean that bi-directionally. Could it say something that would make me laugh? And also, if I was an AI character, what would I look like when I was laughing? How would it do that? I've not seen AI do laughing. I suspect my head would fall over backwards or something and then open up. I don't know. In a kind of Max Headroom type of...
Yeah, that's really funny.
But I don't think AI is going to be able to capture that moment. It also is, at the moment, fantastically brilliant how much it's come on, but it's not going to be able to replace the, I don't know, a quizzical look or something like that. It won't know to do that unless you give it instructions to raise eyebrows.
Yeah.
And that look alone is going to say 1,000 words. So to some degree, you'll see it repeating itself with hand movements and with facial expressions and things like that. It's still got a long way to go. But boy, oh boy, just going back to a couple of months ago, Brian Kosak, friend of the show, showed me a video, and it was amazing that he had managed to get this clone of himself speaking in his voice. But I looked at it and said, Brian, it looks like Max Headroom from the 1980s, and it doesn't quite sound like you either.
Right.
But it is amazing what you've done. But today, 100 times better in 2 months, literally 100 times.
It's an interesting time.
Will be in the next year.
Who knows? Who knows? So George has basically said he's so fascinated with the whole AI scene. It is amazing. Yeah, and if I was still in my IT job, I'd be, fascinated by what automation and types of scripting and things that I could do now, as opposed to actually fighting through some code books and things back in the day. Gamer AB says AI removes the barrier between your ideas and execution. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way of putting it. I think if you do have that sort of creator block, then AI can certainly open up many opportunities for you to be able to sort of create some new stuff that you may never even thought about, or take some of the old stuff that you've created and then sort of repurpose it and regenerate it into something else. Sue-Ann said that she's been working on AI for a long time, and it's certainly advancing to great new heights at better quality and capabilities. Yeah, I know that you've been working on some stuff. I sort of follow you on X, Twitter. I don't know whether you call it X or Twitter and stuff. So I've seen some of the things that you have been doing. So I guess there's a lot of scope for these tools improving as well over the years. Right mix for business. Oh, sorry. Especially for the tech challenge like myself. And yes, for the search for reasonably priced quality. That's the problem as well. There's a trade-off at the moment. Everything seems to be a $20 subscription or more, depending on what you're buying. And I think because of these AI tools that are coming out in these companies, they're all trying to compete for your business. There's not one tool that's going to be able to do everything. We're seeing that at the moment. But yeah, we shall see. Saeed wants basically my voice with your face. Nobody wants to see that, Saeed. Not even I want to see my own face in the morning. Never mind. So let's not do that. Here's an interesting one. So Bowles Promo TV. I'm sorry, I don't know your real name. I've got an iPhone, Bluetooth on my Duo, and asking ChatGPT questions about the area of Bowles Club I'm at. I also uploaded the rules of lawn and double-checked certain rules verbally. So you can actually, get it to speak out certain things as well. George says the Max Headroom effect would be cool too. Maybe not. Wayne, thanks, Wayne. Sorry about that. Okay. Well, thanks for all your comments. This is fascinating stuff. You're giggling there. You have something to say before we move on?
No, just the whole Max Headroom thing. I
love Max Headroom.
Flying over the top of a lot of people, but for anyone who doesn't know, go Google Max Headroom. Amazingly interesting 1980s character that looks so much like early AI. It's unbelievable. So,
and bonus points for anybody that can tell me, because I know this already, the actor's name that played Max Headroom. Before we go into all that, another thing that we use on Streamer Live is...
George will know that, right?
George will know that question. George, it's not a quiz question, but tell me who is the actor.
There's no prizes, George.
No prizes. But he's an American actor, so I throw that in there. So it's an American actor. What's the name of the American actor that played Max Headroom? Everybody's Googling or perplexing now. Please let us know where you're from. Put the name of your city, your country in the chat. I just want to see this spinny globe populate. George comes back with the answer. Oh, my Lord. George, there's not one quiz that you don't know. Matt Fewer, that's correct. Matt Fewer was the name of the actor in Max Headroom. Sorry, I've got to restart this interaction. Let's just start again. Tell us where you're from. And you didn't Google him. Good for you, George. That's fine. I'm just going to put...
I don't believe you.
He's so fast. I want to know what internet you're on, George. Okay. Please put in the chat where you're coming from, which country, and hopefully it'll pop up. It is a bit clunky with the plugin because I'm not using it 100% in the method that it's meant to be. Come on, populate for me. I've already put in .c. We've got German in there. It's just not populating, is it? What's going on? Come on, world. I know I'm waiting for Saeed to pop in here, me to pop in here. Martin's up here somewhere. It's very windy. But there you go. Nobody's coming in. I might have to do a refresh. Bring it in. I've only got one one plugin now on here, and it was working before. I don't know. I need to speak to Lux then and find out what's happening with that. Everybody's putting.
So what we're doing here, people, we're sort of doing a Google Chrome plugin with Stream Alive, just to make it really complicated and try to suck information in from every location across the whole of the globe that Neil's looking at. So normally Stream Alive, you just select an individual platform that you're working with, like Zoom or YouTube or something like that, and it's very, very, very quick. But we're both on the alpha testing team for Stream Alive, so we are trying to push the limits here and see whether we can get it to suck data in from all of the other different locations, and I can see it appearing.
No, they're all coming in. Yeah. So it was. I didn't speak to Lux about that. I mean, I've only got one area up now. But the good thing about this, the cool thing is, if you click on this, you can basically see a little bit more about the area that you're in. And George, it's 62.9 degrees Fahrenheit where you are. Edinburgh's not popped in yet. See what's the temperature where I am at the moment. Let's see. Oh, 64. Okay. Clear day. We're having a bit of a crazy summer at the moment. It's been 27 degrees here again today. Saeed is here in Dortmund. Let's have a look, Saeed. I don't know you were that far up. Oh, it's 49. Ooh, it's a bit chilly. What's that in Celsius? 9. Okay. It's going to get chilly tonight. Let's see what else we've got. Martin, you might want to put in Edinburgh again, and then we can see you pop in there. Who we got? Oh, we got. Who's this? All the way there. Okay. Video like a dad. Hey, Daryl. So, that's very hot. Well, you're in Dallas, of course. It's hot in Texas. At the moment. And we've got Richard.
And everyone else as well.
We've got Richard in Sweden. That hopefully will pop in shortly. I'll just keep it chugging away in the background. There we go. We've got Sweden. Oh, that's going to be chilly. Let's have a look.
That's not going to be warm, is it?
41. So that's 5. Okay, it's not bad. It's not the evening yet though, so that's cool. And we've got Park in North Carolina, which is over here. Go ahead, Martin. Sorry.
We need to have a word with Lux. He's obviously banned Scotland and Edinburgh from appearing.
Yeah, look at that. It's not appearing anymore. That's
times,
funny.
And I'm not appearing.
And Saeed's in Gotham City. That's funny. I can't find this. It'll come in a second. But you can see the idea. So the whole point of Stream Alive is really to start engaging with your audience and just break up the monotony of these presentations and things like that. You can ask quizzes, word clouds, polls, globes, and find out where people are. Gotham City. Where's Gotham City? Look at that. There's quite a few concentrated around here. Of course, that will be... let's have a look at this one. This is cool. There's Gotham City. And who do we have here? We have Park, who's in Raleigh, North Carolina. 23 Celsius. It's Raleigh, isn't it?
Raleigh, Virginia.
Yeah, North Carolina. And Scotland is banned, clearly. So you've been shadow banned by Stream Live. Never mind. That is funny.
Whatever.
That's the response now of the Gen Zs. It's like, whatever. Okay, let's
whatever.
Crack on some comments. Chat made me laugh. I mentioned a reference to Tim the Toolman about souping up my Wi-Fi unit. Not only did he get the reference, it doubled down on saying how it could duct tape a turbo booster. So this was ChatGPT. You asked this question, right? That's bizarre.
I know who Tim the Toolman is. Yeah.
I don't know about that reference. So yeah, that's gone over my head a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and Daryl is asking, where's the hurricane? Hopefully it's not over your house at the moment, Martin, but it's on its way. What's this one called? Is it Hurricane Amy? Tomorrow. Oh, blimey.
I think it's, something like that. Tomorrow, yeah.
I also noticed that there's 2 hurricanes going to merge in the Atlantic. That looks weird. Has that happened before? Near the coast of Florida, I think, something like that.
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't want to be there.
No, exactly. All right, it's we got 10 minutes. I'll let you. If there's any other tools that you want to share, I'll let you do the last one.
Right, very simple one then. Just because it's something that I do use all the time, and a bit earlier on, I had created this image here in ideogram. And I thought that's going to be useful. That'll be something that I want to put into Veed, and I'm going to try and do a bit of a sort of super PowerPoint show with it. So if I go back and I have a look at that image on its own, I drop that into Photoshop, and clearly as a square image, if that happens to be how I've created it, that's not good enough. I can choose to create different sized images in Ideogram, but occasionally I'm just sitting there, I've created one in a square, and I think, oh, actually that would be really useful as a larger image. And so what I tend to then do is drop it into Photoshop and then use generative AI to generate the rest of the image. So that's what I've done here. So I've dropped the square image in, and in Photoshop I sort of move it down a little bit on the panel so that it fits in nicely with the aspect ratio. In this case it's a 2:1 widescreen aspect ratio. I've dropped the image of me down slightly, so if I go back slightly, if I go back to this image, you'll see there's a lot of white below me there at the moment. So all I've done is drop the image down a bit, and then on the left hand side of the image, as I look at it, I've used generative fill to create that extra space for me. So what I will then do is I'll go back into Veed and I'll record a little voiceover in Veed saying, here's me trying to do a really fancy looking presentation that's not PowerPoint as such, but it's a presentation like you've never seen before. And I will then fly in various different objects and things to the space that I have created beside me on that image. And the image of me looking like I'm working out a bit is the AI version created in Ideogram with the character face on it. So I use Photoshop's generative AI all the time to create patterns that follow from a smaller image, and also to create things like maybe somebody's giving me a headshot where it's just a head like this, and I want to have more of a trunk in the headshot, then I'll do that. Now you do have to watch out for it creating hands with 15 fingers on, or tons of rings and tattoos and stuff like that. But generally speaking, if you're trying not to extend the human body too much, and you're specific about, you know, put somebody in a black suit with a tie, then it's going to do it for you. And I find that I am using this, I can't even remember, let's say 100 times a day I'm generating stuff, generative AI in Photoshop. So I think I'm doing that all the time, to take the original images that I've created in something like Ideogram and removing elements for them and cleaning things up and tidying it. So there isn't a magic wand where your prompt is so wonderful that you get exactly what you want. In my world, I nearly always have to go and tidy everything up a bit in Photoshop, but now with generative AI in Photoshop, it's pretty easy to do that. So that's my final favourite for this evening as we go into the last couple of minutes of the show.
Yeah, just a couple of questions, a couple of things to talk about real quick. So Wayne is asking, so the city in the background is fictitious as well, or is that a real image that you've put in there for that particular one that you just mentioned?
I specifically said to it, a modern futuristic office based upon the images that I've dropped in, and put a window with a skyline of Edinburgh at dusk in the background. So it's done that for me. I've not done that at all.
Right. And speaking of generating funny images and things like that, we've got Saeed in the chat, and in a couple of weeks' time, actually 2 weeks today, Saeed will be joining myself because Martin is popping off on holiday, sunning himself, or maybe not sunning himself somewhere. So we've got Saeed.
It's Northern England. I'll not be sunning myself.
Saeed is going to join me. I don't know whether you've seen this one, but basically, where Saeed and I have decided to go head to head. We're doing an Ecamm versus OBS, and it's all a tongue-in-cheek showdown. So let's not get crazy. But I finally got AI to get our face. That's how we actually look, by the way. We take our t-shirts off. That's exactly how we look. You know, there's nothing been generated here at all. So come and have some fun with that in a couple of weeks' time. Same channel, but different faces.
This reminds me of a boxing game when we were kids. You might have seen it, and there's a couple of dueling boxers. You moved the handles back and forth, and it would knock the head off the opposite boxer. Maybe we can see that happen. That would be good. That's probably beyond my capabilities. But Saeed kindly agreed to join me again as a co-host, and we thought we'd make it a little bit of fun as well.
Rocky versus Drago. Exactly. That's what I thought as well. It's definitely a Rocky theme in there as well. And as Daryl said, we all knew this was real. Saeed, yes, I'm looking forward to it too. And again, all tongue in cheek, but as Saeed said on LinkedIn, we didn't know we were having a proper fight. So let's bring it on. Oh yeah, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Is that the one you were talking about? Because that sounds familiar to me.
That probably is, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Yeah, because they were physical characters, right? Didn't you move them with some levers behind or something? It was like...
Yeah, you move levers back and forth furiously. And I think it probably had broken by the time Christmas Day was over. I got two brothers and... Yeah.
Well, there you go.
We were pretty keen.
There's the challenge. So for those of you who's joined us tonight, we have something coming up as well, as we've alluded to. We've got next week, actually on Friday, the 10th of October at 8 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. UK. I think that's right. We've got Charlie Hills and Scott Skeeble, who are going to be talking about Crack the LinkedIn Code. But Scott is basically ex-LinkedIn. We're going to be talking to him about LinkedIn strategies and workflows. And Charlie is basically a demon when it comes to AI content and so on. He's got a huge following on LinkedIn. So that's something you definitely do not want to miss. It's a free webinar. Go and sign up. Link in the description, or you can just scan that QR code, the usual places. And we really look forward to everybody joining us with that. So lots of fun things coming up. We don't have a topic for next week as yet, Martin, but obviously we're going to be prepping for the webinar as well. But yeah, if you can join us, everybody's joined us tonight, please do so. I think this time, by the way, this 8 o'clock UK, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock for Saeed and stuff is actually working out because people are able to join, I think, and so on. So let us know in the comments, either in the replay, whether this is it best time. I think it's working a bit better as well, and I'm enjoying sort of that, as long as you've had some dinner, Martin, before you join, because that's not what we want. You did. Okay.
I'm in Scotland, so obviously I had a pie before I came on.
Oh, good. At 5 o'clock with a cup of tea. Yeah, because you have to have it at the right time, don't you? Obviously. All right.
Yeah, we do that in Scotland and the north of England. Everyone, pie.
Did I tell you the story when I went to Scotland real quick? And because I love pies as well, being from the north of England, and I asked them to, would you warm my pie up? They said, would you like it warmed up for you, sir? So certainly. So they took the pie and they threw it in the deep fat fryer. I love that. I did eat it though. It was very, very good. Very, very good indeed.
Deep fried pizza. You'd need to try it.
I've never tried deep fried pizza, but battered Mars bars and all that. So thanks, Daryl. Yes, the time works well. Yeah, it's a good time. I do appreciate everybody else for joining tonight as ever, and thanks for your comments, and keep up the dialogue and so on. You can find us on LinkedIn, YouTube, all the various places, and we'll be back same time next week with a topic. And if you've got topics that you'd like us to cover, maybe around workflows that we do, tools, AI, something like that, then we let us know. Oh, and Wayne says basically it's wake up time in Australia. Thank you so much. This is truly international, and that's why I couldn't find you on the globe. I wasn't scrolling far enough around the globe to find where you were. So apologies for that, but that's fun. All right, with that, anything else from you, Martin? Anything you want to cover next week, or we can talk about it next week, can't we?
No, that'll do.
All
Cheerio
right.
from Edinburgh. See you, folks.
See you from
Thanks
Portugal.
for joining.
Thank you. Bye.